I wanted to talk today about some revelation of what is going on, again, from a bigger picture or from a place of the inner psychology of what you're experiencing, going through in these days. The pressure cooker is on. It is full moon. It is, again, Saturn and Pluto coming closer together. So astrologically speaking, we're experiencing the intensity of the pressure cooker of this year in the inner psyche. And it's manifesting outwards in the form of demonstrations where the far right and the far left feel like as if they are meeting or colliding. And I've seen a lot of posts where it's confusing to take sides. And it got me thinking about where those worldviews come from. And I'm using Joanna Macy's frame. She represents to us 4 different worldviews that people have and they hold and they look at the world through these lenses. One of them, the first one being, the world is a battlefield. The world is divided with good forces and evil forces. And both of these parties, from the far right and the far left, they both believe that there are evil forces or that they are good and evil. They just happen to be on the opposite sides of the spectrum, witnessing each other now. And the battle is real. So it is up to you whether you choose to believe in good and evil. The battlefield of the world right now, where we have to rise up and we have to beat the forces of the other side. It's very aggravating, it's very exhaustive, and actually the world gets destructed in that battle as well. The earth might pay the price of that war. There's a lot of Christian belief that goes with that because, you know, everyone can go to heaven afterwards, and we are just here to wage that battle, whether it's internally within ourselves or within the outside world, externalized as the evil in someone else. However, it's a very dualistic view. Check yourself if you're really getting carried away with the world as a battlefield. And who are you actually fighting? It dehumanizes the other side immediately. And we lose the ability to create peace within the polarities. Unless we recognize that some of that is in ourselves as well. The second worldview is that of the world as a prison. The 3D world as something that we are stuck in this embodiment, in this body. We don't really want to be here. And I feel like in this category, people who look at the world as their prison tend to just ignore, subdue, use a lot of intoxication, drugs, anything from weed and psychedelics to prescriptions or even just work or food or alcohol. If you are using substances as a way of dissociating yourself from the world in this time, take a look at that tendency. If you're wanting to escape the world, your situation, the battlefield, and just float into a place where none of this is real, the dissociation into depression, the dissociation into believing that everything's fine, trying to uphold this status quo of peace and tranquility within you, can all be looking at the earth as an illusory prison and confinement to which, again, our souls escape from. But this is a tendency that people committing suicide often have, viewing that the pain and the suffering of the world is too much and too intense, and experiencing that so intensely within that the only way out is out. So check yourself again. Do you view the world as a prison or something to escape from? And is that hindering you from really feeling it all and being present in your present moment, in the world and the loved ones around you? The two more positive views is, one of them is to look at the world as a lover. Look at the world as, and the earth as, the beloved. This is where permaculture comes in. This is where ecology comes in, where we want to pour back love into the earth, but we also want to save and rescue the earth. And there's all these dynamics that play out in our relationships, projected out into the mother or the lover. And this was particularly up when we had environmental crises this year earlier. The fires were raging. It's like, you're burning our mother. And feeling the pain of the loved one getting destroyed. Feeling the pain of the pollution. Feeling the pain of species dying. A lot of us might be in this category of just resonating with the pain of the world, but also, as in any relationship, we project our inner pain onto the outer. And I've had to let go of this view as well, because it isn't just the earth feeling pain, it is me feeling pain for my own actions and my own species doing actions inconsiderately. But the earth itself is so much bigger than us, and will always regenerate. So I also have had to go on this journey of, yes, being a lover of the world, of the earth, and wanting to find an embrace, wanting to find ways to actually love whatever is happening as the interplay of the dynamics and the polarities. And more than a lover, it's usually been the relationship of a child to the bigger mother. However, there's one more worldview that we can go to, which is the world as self. Everything happening is the I. Everything that is taking place in the outer is part of my universe, my organism. Some parts of me fighting, some parts of me being extreme and in fear, some parts of me feeling tremendous suffering and illness. Really, this has been the source of me working with my body and working with other bodies, and just constantly bringing any projections out back to myself. Anything that I see in the outside world, trying to find that in myself. The ruthlessness, the inconsideration, the destruction of my own physical being, the disconnection from my soul. So everything in the world as a microcosm of who I am. I feel that this is the place that we find ultimately the most peace in. And we are also to live through these times and live through these struggles by actually, I am it. I am the child of this time. I am the revolution, and I'm also the force controlling it. I am Pluto, and I am Saturn. I am death itself. And death is in me. Control is in me. And yes, I use love as a force of getting through these things, getting beyond and through, piercing into the world, so that I don't remain disconnected and that I don't remain in aggression and aggravation against another being. A lot of the Buddhist texts I've been reading these days talk about the fact that me as a human don't have the perspective of the all in the all unfolding. It could be this event or that event that finally enlightens someone upon their moment of birth or upon their moment of death. Enlightenment is always with us and in us. And I do still adhere to the school where I want the most amount of people to arrive from a fear-driven place into love. And that is the flag that I'm holding. And that is the contact that I want to have with anyone that I'm coming face to face with. I want to hold them as themselves. I want to hold them as a lover. I want to hold them not as an enemy, perhaps as a prisoner, perhaps as a wounded warrior. But the energy that I want us to be able to get to is at least to acknowledge where we're coming from, what is our worldview, and speak to others considering their worldviews. This is a really powerful work to not let ourselves wage unwanted battles or to go and dissociate out of what is happening, but to really live through it, to suffer, to grieve, to be angry, but come back to love and come back to peace, recognizing the world and everything unfolding as part of my inner makeup, my chemistry, my atoms, my dark matter, the mysterious forces of the universe playing, the pluses and the minuses, the zeros and the ones. There is a place where we come into oneness. And that's the worldview that I want to endow upon.